How's that been going for you? How did that even come across? Because obviously it's named after you. Did you just create it and invite a bunch of people on? Is that just how it began?
George, right?
So it's an interesting story. So I think I take less credit for the SMP than a lot of people give me for it. But the only reason for that is that when I originally started it, it was just like it was just starting the SMP as like a normal SMP, just playing around with friends, and then I added Tommy. And
he ruined it.
I think Tommy had been, yeah, he totally ruined it. I wish I had never added him. Yeah, but I remember he asked me to be added back in the day, and I was like, not really. And then I watched some of his streams. I was like, oh, this. Yeah. The first time he messaged me to be added, I was like, I don't know. And then I watched a couple of his streams, and I was like, oh wow, this kid's talented. Yeah. And I added him to the SMP, and then obviously everything since then kind of, I think a lot of it has happened on the SMP because of him, because I think it was a combination obviously of us, but I think that when we first started originally, like I was suggesting, like he started like a war with me on the server, and that's like something that doesn't usually happen on Minecraft SMPs, like a war. And then I suggested to him back then, I was like, oh, we should write things, like have it be more organized and do like epic stunts and stuff. People will know it's like written, but then when Wilbur joined, that's when it really took off, because then Wilbur had the idea of like, well, let's not only like write things, let's write it, but also let's make it so it's like has like a system, it's like a story, there's lore, there's there's lives, and so it was really, I think Wilbur and Tommy really like revolutionized it. And
yeah, that doesn't surprise me about Wilbur whatsoever. When I was hanging out with him pre-COVID, the amount of times he tried to get me into D&D, as soon as the SMP stuff happened, I was like, right, this is his replacement for it. I see this. So like, he just took all of that energy and just put it into something that ended up doing so well. Like it's been huge.
No.
I just want to point out though, James, me and you on Eboys SMP actually did the prison storyline first, so I feel like we get some form of money sent over for that.
I would not even give us a similar amount of credit. In fact, I would feel insulted if I was Dream.
Eboys SMP was a rival.
Eboys SMP walks the Dream SMP could run.
That's hilarious.
You mentioned about your kind of doubts initially in adding Tommy, which is quite funny. You've mentioned before about people only really being added to the server if they stood out to you as kind of contributing something to it. I wanted to know, is there anyone that you felt was who was the biggest risk in your mind adding someone to the SMP? Did you ever think, I'm not so sure about this one?
It's me.
That's a tough question.
Next week.
Yeah, true.
Nice try.
But yeah, no.
Dream, take him, fella, please. Come on, he's yours.
My application is in your DMs right now. No, I mean, I don't know. I really don't think anybody was a risk. I mean, if anything, it literally was just Tommy, which was probably the best, the best decision I ever made. But I think back then, when the reason I didn't want to add Tommy back then was because before he joined, it literally was, we were just playing. He's like a troll, and I was like, oh, he's gonna come on and like grief things and do these things. But then after I thought about it and watched his content, I was like, well, maybe that's good. Maybe it'll make it entertaining. Maybe it'll add like a flair to it that he's doing these things and we're trying to stop him. And so the first time he ever came on, we like put him in like jail, and we put him on like a trial, and we exiled him and stuff. And this was like all before any of the Dream SMP stuff happened. It was just me, George, Sapnap, and Tommy basically at the time, like doing this kind of role play, but not really like role play at the time. But yeah, I think that everyone since then, the only reason I add people is I watch their content, and then I realize I scout out people. I really do. I go on TikTok, I go on YouTube, I go places, and I look for people to add to the SMP. I do take credit for that. I think I've found a lot of super talented people.
Like Simon Cowell, fella.
You found some really great people on TikTok. Like I'll see a Minecraft YouTuber on TikTok, and I just like count down the days until they end up on the Dream SMP, and it's only like 2 weeks later. But like the amount of people you've managed to cycle on, and every single person as well is somebody who is also doing well in their own right as well, which I think obviously really helps in terms of just boosting the server, but also just content creation, because there's some really great people. I know you recently added Hannah Rose, so I found her through TikTok. She does bits on there. Is TikTok for you something that you find as like really underrated? Because everybody wants to shit on TikTok, but the amount of Dream SMP videos I see on there are insane.
I think TikTok's great, but I think that the biggest thing that TikTok has in its advantage is that its algorithm is like the best algorithm out of any of the platforms, and so anybody can, if you're talented, you're gonna get attention on TikTok. Like, I mean, pretty much like on YouTube, you can be the most talented person in the world and get 1 view on all your videos because YouTube just never picks up your content. On TikTok, it's like you could post your first video and it's a hilarious video and it gets 10 million views. Like, and it's your only video on your entire channel.
Yeah,
I think that's why.
The other day, didn't they, James?
Yeah, Cynic.
Yeah, he posted.
He had this really. It was a really stupid video as well. He's a brilliant guy, but he does have these strange quirks about him. And one of the things he did was he just saw a picture, like a passport photo on the floor, and he thought it would be funny if he put it in his wallet, because then if he, like, you know how people just have like pictures of like their loved ones or something like that in their wallet, he could show this picture of a random person and go, no, it's not a family member, it's just this random person I know. Oh no, not that he doesn't even know. And then as soon as that started happening, he started just finding discarded passport photos wherever he went, and now he has a collection at least over 50 just random pictures of people. Quite interesting.
It's weird that he's come across that many passport photos. Like I can't name a time I've come across one passport photo on the floor.
He's been nabbing them off somewhere. Absolutely.
Dead bodies.
That's crazy.
He's been keeping them as trophies from his victims.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. There's like really sinister about that for sure. It is very strange.
It is definitely the best place just for initial, like, natural engagement to just go from, like, 0. If that video's got that little, just, you know, with that bit where you just feel either just something, it's like a laugh, or you feel a little bit of something, you know that video's going to go. I suppose that's just what happens with Safe.
Yeah.
All of them.
I mean, like Rambo, who's one of the newest additions to the Dream SMP. I mean, he's extremely talented, and I mean, right now he's the #1 most sub to person on Twitch, and that was in the span of like 3 months. But I mean, how I found him was
last year, like 50.
I don't know. I know when I found him, he had a large following on TikTok. When I found him, and he was doing videos. Well, he was doing a lot of different videos, but there was the videos that caught my eyes were ones where he was role playing as if he was in the Dream SMP, and I saw him doing that, and he did like one where he was, and then the stream that I ended up messaging him, be like, okay, I'm adding this guy, was when he did a Twitch stream at like running for Lemanberg as like president, like he was acting like he was running, even though he wasn't even in the SMP, and I was like, okay, this is great. This is great. This guy's great. He's gonna, he'll fit in great. And so, I messaged him. I think during that stream, I messaged him and said like, hey, what's your IGN? Just to like whitelist him then and be like, you can come on if you want. Here's the IP. I think TikTok's amazing for finding talented people because the algorithm's so good.
Yeah, Rambo literally had like 50 followers probably like last year, because I didn't have a clue who he was until like he did a TikTok in one of my hoodies. And then, like, everybody tagged me in it. I had no idea who the guy was. And then he got added to Dream SMP 2 weeks later. I found Hannah on my feed page, and she got added 2 weeks later. Just scouting him out. But yeah. Yeah,
well, I think that's something I feel like I'm really, really good at least in my mind, is that I'm really good at recognizing. Like, it's not just talent, because, like, talent. Like, you can be talented and you can let it go to waste because you're lazy, or you can let it go to waste because you're not dedicated enough, or you don't have that uniqueness that will make you stand out. Like, you can be talented in a field where there's millions of people that are talented in that, and so I think it's not only scouting out talented people, it's scouting out people
building
that,
a team, isn't it? You're building a team of individuals as well to make something big. Anyway, but obviously
people who have a place.
Yeah, that does fascinate me.